touching on the benefits of combining Reg A plus and Reg D together. So one of the key factors in promoting a Reg D offering is that the principal advertising instruments, I already said Facebook and Instagram and maybe TikTok, they are never very good. They're never good enough at only bringing in accredited investors. You might get 8 unaccredited investors for every 1 accredited investor you get. I mean, I have a lot of experience of this, right? So it's, by definition, it's wasteful. You want to be able to target in, narrow in the advertising to only bring in accredited investors because they're the only people you can accept. And every dollar you spent bringing in unintentionally unaccredited investors is very wasteful. Adding in a Reg A plus in partnership with the Reg D allows you to harvest a sizable portion of those unaccredited investors who like what your business does. So that's one very clear marketing advantage. There's 2 broad strokes, 2 ways to combine a Reg D with a Reg A plus. Because the Reg A plus has an SEC filing journey requiring audited financials, typically 2 months or so to prepare and 2 months to get through the SEC, you've got 4 months there where you aren't doing anything yet. You can do a Reg D offering much faster, go live with it more quickly and raise money prior to the Reg A plus going live. So that's an advantage from a timing standpoint. But there are 2 broad strokes ways in which to use Reg D. One is as a straightforward investment vehicle to raise money from investors where they get stock in your company, and you would be offering them somewhat more advantageous terms prior to the Reg D as you would expect. And you can continue that Reg D in parallel with the Reg A plus once the Reg A plus goes live. Another way to use Reg D is as a convertible note instrument where investors, when the Reg A plus is qualified, their investment converts into an investment in the Reg A plus. So they gain faster liquidity that way, and you are allowed to give them a discount on the valuation of the shares in the Reg A plus. So you can sell shares at a discount via the convertible note to the Reg D accredited investors. So the Reg A plus, the existence of the plan, the intention to conduct a Reg A plus, the fact that you are doing the work and filing it with the SEC gives you credibility to the friends of the company, potentially existing investors and other accredited investors that you can draw in. Of course, you cannot promise ahead of time that the company will ever be qualified by the SEC because the SEC reserves the right to qualify or not. But you can state your plan and the intended share price of that planned offering and so forth and so on. But potentially the more interesting twist here, though, is that once you are live with the Reg A plus, you can continue a Reg D offering in parallel, which would not be a convertible note then. It would be a share offering in parallel with the Reg A plus, and you are allowed to offer preferential terms to the accredited investors because they are accredited and because they are more illiquid. Somebody investing, let's say we've been live for 2 months in a Reg A plus, and a Reg D investor is considering investing through the Reg D. They're allowed to invest in a Reg A plus, of course, but it may be attractive to them to invest in a parallel Reg D where they have less liquidity, delayed liquidity, but that they're getting warrants or a lower share price in their investment because of the limited liquidity and because of their accredited status. So that's interesting from a selling and marketing standpoint because we can turn on a feature in our investment software, in our back-end payment system, where somebody is investing in a Reg A plus, and once we identify that they are accredited, then they can be invited to invest in a Reg D offering by your employees. You have somebody, maybe one person working half-time or more than that, depending on the size of the capital raise. But those people are allowed then to email that person and say, hey, you're accredited if you'd like. You might want to look at our Reg D offering. Here are the details. Click on the link to look at the offering page for it and let us know, or just go ahead and invest. So pairing the 2 together, it gives the opportunity for a sales interaction with the investor, and any legitimate reason for that can be valuable. and it gives the accredited investors the benefit of potentially better terms, where you're rewarding them for putting in larger sums of money in a less liquid instrument. And we've seen that work very well for some of our clients. So let me see, selling opportunity, more efficient advertising, I mentioned that. And Reg D will sometimes bring more institutional interest because some institutions are still not aware of Reg A plus, whereas they are aware of Reg D. They do Reg D off investments all day long.